Broadcast Service
Radyo Pilipinas.
Radyo Publiko
ng Bagong Pilipinas para sa Bagong Pilipino. Naghahatid ng mahahalagang balita at impormasyon na uugnay ng pamahalaan sa sambayanan. Tulay sa himpapawid ng serbisyo publiko. Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko. Ang boses ng Pangulo. Sa Mega Manila, 738.
Radyo Pilipinas.
Radyo Publiko.
3 minuto makalipas na ang alas 10 ng umaga.
Sa bawat tanong, sa bawat ebidensya, aalamin ang katotohanan para sa sambayanan. Tunghayan ang masinsinang pagtalakay sa isa sa pinakamahalagang usaping pampulitika ng bansa. Mga pinakamaiinit na kaganapan aming ibabalita. Diretso mula sa Senado. Hatid ang bawat detalye at katotohanan para sa sambayanang Pilipino. Ang paglilitis. The impeachment hearing of Vice President Sara Duterte. A Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko coverage.
Magandang umaga po mga kaumagan. Muli na naman tinutuloy ang paglilitis. The impeachment hearing of Vice President Sara Duterte. It's an integrated state media special coverage. Inyo na mapakinggan dito sa 104.3 FM at iba pang mga multimedia platform ng Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Sa araw na ito, muli natin matutunghayan sapagkat kahapon ay kanselado po at itong pagkakatuloy ngayon dahil sa araw na ito ay muling mapapakinggan mula sa Senado. Narito ngayon at pakinggan natin mula sa Senado si Miss Asuncion, si Nympha Asuncion sa kanyang report.
The impeachment hearing of Vice President Sara Duterte. A Radyo Pilipinas coverage.
Muli ngang haharap sa Senado ang isa sa mga COA Commissioner o COA Auditor o Commission on Auditor para magbigay ng testimonya kaugnay sa paggamit ng confidential funds ni Vice President Sara Duterte bilang Vice Presidente at kalihim noon ng Department of Education o DepEd mula huling bahagi ng 2022 hanggang ikatlong quarter ng 2023. Sa ika-14 na araw ng impeachment trial ni VP Sara ngayong Martes, sinaasahang magpapatuloy si COA Intelligence and Confidential Funds Audit Office o COA ICFAO Auditor Sailin Del Campo sa pagtestigo. Ipagpapatuloy ni Del Campo ang sinimulang direktang pagtatanong ng House Prosecution kabilang ang mga hakbang na isinasagawa ng COA ICFAO kaugnay sa confidential funds ni Duterte matapos siyang maitalaga sa COA noong February 2024. Inaasahan ding tatalakayin ni Del Campo ang kanyang mga obserbasyon sa mahigit 4,000 acknowledgement receipts o ARs na isinumite ng Office of the Vice President at DepEd sa COA ICFAO matapos humingi ang Auditing Office ng karagdagang dokumento tungkol sa paggamit ng confidential funds ng dalawang tanggapan. Matatandaan yung bulto ng mga dokumento yung naging dahilan kung bakit natigil yung testimonya ni Del Campo noong Miyerkules ng nakaraang linggo. Tumanggi kasi yung defense team na mag-stipulate o sumang-ayon sa pag-admit ng mga dokumento bilang exhibits. Dahil dito kinailangan suriin ni Del Campo ang bawat dokumento ng paisa-isa sa open court. Sa naunang naging pahayag, sinabi ni Del Campo na siya ang naging auditor ng COA ICFAO na tumingin sa confidential funds si VP Sara noong 2024. Narito at pakinggan na natin yung nagaganap sa impeachment sa day 14 ng impeachment trial ni VP Sara.
Either on Tuesday or Friday or both days, subject to a time agreed upon by both counsels for the petitioner and the respondent. Ito po ang nangyari, na indyan po kami. Why do I say that? Wednesday, we made a text message, and I have the text messages here. When do we meet? Tomorrow or Friday? Wala pong sagot nung Wednesday. On Thursday, we waited the whole day. Kailan tayo magmi-meet? Thursday na ngayon. Friday na bukas. Our witness will be on board on Monday. Wala pa rin sagot, Your Honor. The whole day of Thursday. At the end of Thursday, at the end of office hours, Thursday, Your Honor, and we have the evidence here, at 5:38 in the afternoon of Thursday, they texted, counsel for the respondent texted to say, we are available on August 14. This coming Friday, Your Honor, August 14, when napakalinaw naman sa directive ng presiding officer na mag-agree on a date on Thursday or Friday of last week. August 14, what good will that do us? The hearing is today, August 10, and they want us to appear before the clerk of court to compare documents on August 14. For what purpose, Your Honor? Now, the text message is even more disturbing because apart from saying sa August 14 na lang, they even disclaim the fact that this honorable court said Thursday or Friday last week. Wala naman daw sinabi ang presiding officer except to set a time, date, and time mutually agreed upon by the parties. That is bad faith, Your Honor, because sinabi ng presiding officer ang specific dates, Thursday or Friday last week. Wala daw sinabi ang presiding officer. And the presiding officer will recall that you left it to the parties, Your Honor, to agree on the time but not on the dates. Now we are told August 14. The clerk of court over the weekend also was waiting for notice from both parties. And we got a call from the clerk of court saying, walang sinabi sa amin except August 14. In a last attempt, Your Honor, in a last attempt for them, for counsels, for the respondent, this morning, as late as this morning, we approached them to say, we have 1 hour to go, let's start. And they said, again, they refused. They refused, no need daw. Kasi pakitahan na lang ng summaries, etc. No need, Your Honor. Let me just say, Your Honor, that this attitude of the respondent is not new. We had the same attitude pre-trial pa lang. Ayaw na mag-stipulate. Why? Because daw, hindi faithful reproduction. Yung kopya nila, tsaka yung kopya namin. Bakit hindi faithful reproduction? Because ang pinag-awayan, presiding officer, Your Honors, isa lang ang pinag-awayan, covering page. Covering page ng 4,492 documents na yan, ang pinag-awayan, covering page. And that's why they did not want to stipulate. So, Your Honors, if I may, we will necessarily have to go over very briefly this witness, briefly glossing over the documents and identifying her summary, her tabulation, pursuant to the presiding officer's suggestion. And we are invoking as well Rule 130, Section 7, and Section 3C on summaries and tabulations. We will do that, Your Honor. But,
I have a question, Counsel. Before I recognize Attorney Christine, Attorney Lorna, Attorney Wamil had a table and summary for the ARs for December 21 to 31, 2022, which was turned over to Ms. Eileen, so she can testify on that as well, given that it's official records. My question is, does she have a tabulation and or summary? Because apparently, Attorney Wamil did not, dahil hindi na rin niya inabutan yon ayon sa kanya, di ba?
Yes,
May
sir.
tabulation at summary ba si Ms. Eileen ng first to third quarter of 2023 ng OVP at DepEd confidential funds?
Yes, Your Honor, our witness, Ma'am Silene May Del Campo, does have a similar summary of all of the acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor.
Again, to clarify, covering the first to the third quarters
The
of
first-
2023 of both DepEd and OVP.
Yes, Your Honor. For the first quarter of the OVP, the second quarter, and the third quarter, Your Honor, that totals 1,823 acknowledgement receipts.
How many?
She has
1,000?
For the first quarter of February 6, March 29, 2023, covering 519 documents, our witness has a tabulation, Your Honor, a summary.
Second quarter of OVP.
For the second quarter, which is the period April 25 to June 30, 2023, covering 530 acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor, our witness also will be presenting a tabulation or a summary. And for the third quarter of the Office of the Vice President, our witness will be presenting a tabulation for the periods July 14, September 30, 2023, covering 774 documents, Your Honor, totaling 1,823. And she will confirm as well the tabulation made for the December 2022 21 to 31, 22 tabulation of Attorney Wamil, consisting of 845 documents. So for the Office of the Vice President, this witness will be presenting and identifying 2,668 acknowledgement receipts. Likewise, Your Honor, if I may continue.
Counsel may, for the DepEd.
For the DepEd, Your Honor, for the first quarter, covering the period February 20 to March 30, 2023, our witness has a tabulation of 561 acknowledgement receipts. For the second quarter, covering the period April 25 to June 30, 2023, our witness has a tabulation of 619 acknowledgement receipts. And for the third quarter of the DepEd, covering the period July 14 to September 30, 2023, our witness will be identifying and as well the tabulation of 644 acknowledgement receipts, or for the DepEd, a total of 1,824 documents, which will bring us to 2,668 for the Office of the Vice President, 1,824 for the DepEd, totaling 4,492 documents, which counsel for the respondent refused, Your Honor, to stipulate on. We are now therefore constrained to present this witness and the tabulations before this honorable
She can
court.
testify based on the tabulation that she has, again, in accordance with the ruling of the chair, citing Rule 130, Section 3C, in relation to Section 7, which is an exception to the original document rule. Your comment, Attorney Christine, before
yes,
we
Your Honor.
proceed?
Just one more manifestation,
Ah,
Your Honor.
With the kind indulgence
In
of Attorney
addition to
Christine.
these tabulations, Your Honor, we will be presenting, but not identifying, we will be presenting folders containing these acknowledgement receipts so that the witness can flip over them, Your Honor. Just flip over them. And if counsel will say we are not given the opportunity first, they've been given the opportunity. They refused. And the reason being, number one, they don't have enough lawyers now. We heard on an interview that they did not have enough lawyers and could not follow the directive of the presiding officer. 15 lawyers for the defense, for the respondent. They did not have enough lawyers, nor the time to comply with the directive of this honorable presiding officer. Lastly, Your Honor, in any event, Your Honor, there is no denial of due process. They will have the opportunity when all of these documents are presented in a formal offer of evidence. That is their time to compare. That is their time to make their comments. That is their time to raise their objections, Your Honor, when it is formally offered in evidence in due course. Thank you, Your Honor.
The chair notes the manifestation of Attorney Lorna and her point with respect to the respondent having the opportunity to comment once formal offer has been made is well taken. Attorney Christine, yes, your comment, ma'am?
Your
Before we
Honor,
proceed.
Yes, Your Honor, please. I would like to thank the good counsel for their willingness to explore or to implement Rule 130, Section 7. At least we have aligned with what we are expected to do before this honorable court. In fact, Your Honor, earlier this morning, I was asked by one of her partners about the comparison. And I actually told her partner, Attorney Lazaro, Attorney, we don't even need to compare the exhibits in order to expedite the proceedings. Because first of all, that's the authenticity of the exhibits is something is something that the court will have to decide. And the court will only decide on that after the prosecution has already submitted their offer of evidence, and that will be subject to our comment. And there's no need for us to actually compare the exhibits just so we can arrive at a stipulation that this and that are the same. And also, Your Honor, with regard to the identification of the witness of the exhibits, that goes into the witness competence. No, we did not stipulate here in open court that the witness is competent to identify the exhibits, Your Honor, kasi hindi naman ho namin kilala ho yung taga-COA. Pangalawa, we don't know the extent of her examination of the documents. Pangatlo, she just assumed the work of Mr. Wamil. So, mahirap naman po sabihin nun ng kliyente namin, sige, okay na, we payag na kami, she can identify the exhibit, she knows all of those, she has examined all of those. Precisely, that's the duty of the counsel to do in open court. Now, there's Rule 130, Section 7, and for those of you who are litigating before the CTA, you already know this rule, that a witness can testify based on the summary, and that would actually show that he's competent to testify on the exhibits by reason of the summary that she made. And that would attest that she has examined all of the documents that are contained in the summary. That's why yun po yung sinuggest ko sa counsel ng kabila. Sabi ko, we will not even object, attorney, as to how many exhibits you will identify or you will have as samples, kahit 10 per quarter or kahit 100 or kahit wala. Diba? If you check Rule 130, Section 7, hindi naman ho ni-require na isa-isahin ho yun. At hindi ho nire-require, Your Honor, na kailangan ho namin mag-stipulate on the exhibits, on the authenticity, so that they can use Rule 130, Section 7. And if properly done po, Your Honor, I think they can identify or they can finish all 1 quarter in less than 10 minutes. I'm talking about that, no? I'm talking about that based on experience. So, Your Honor, we don't object to their implementation of Rule 130, Section 7, as to the manner by how they will do it. We will also not object, but subject to cross-examination, Your Honor. Thank you.
The manifestation of Attorney Christine is noted. Chair will make a ruling so that we can move on.
May I just respond to this, Your Honor?
Ako na
Just
magre-respond. Ako
very
na magre-respond
briefly.
para sa kanya. Sa'yo, Attorney Kapunan. The chair did make a ruling, issue an order for the parties to try to meet Friday or Thursday. However, for whatever reason, lack of lawyers or inclement weather, that did not happen. Chair would just like to correct, hindi ka Attorney Lorna ininjan, baka ginost ka. Kasi hindi ka sinagot eh. Pero hindi ka ininjan, wala namang pinag-usapan date pa eh.
Inignore.
Ghost na nga eh. Ghost na
Ginost,
bago ngayon.
ginost.
Hindi na. Ghost na yung bagong.
Ghosting.
But having said that,
Ghosting.
the chair notes, because the chair also inquired, that given what happened in the pre-trial, wherein the copies of the exhibits marked by the respondent, no copies were retained by the court. So the chair would like to request the counsels for respondent to kindly furnish the court with a copy of the marked pieces of evidence during pre-trial, kasi apparently meron kaming pre-marked pieces of evidence from the prosecution, but not all the pre-marked pieces of evidence from the respondent. So in lieu of meeting, kindly just submit that, Attorney Christine, so that we can do the comparison ourselves, either as a court or through the individual senator judges.
We will comply, Your Honor.
Kindly do that within the day or at the latest tomorrow. If you have it with you, within the day. If not, at the latest tomorrow, so that whatever may happen, the court will already have a copy of these pre-marked documents. In relation to Ms. Eileen, as stated by Attorney Christine already, they will not object to the presentation of a table and/or summary citing Rule 130, Section 7 in relation to 3C. Therefore, we may proceed with her and hopefully be able to finish also Ms. Pareja today. Counsel, can you proceed?
Your Honor, please, can I just make a brief manifestation?
Yes, Attorney Kapunan.
While really, indeed, Section 7, Rule 130 is applicable, may we note that this summary, Your Honor, is being used to establish the rulings, the provision says, when the fact sought to be established is only the general result of the whole. So that summary will just establish the fact that these were the very same documents given by the defense counsel to the COA, Your Honor.
And that these were the very same documents or ARs used by the COA in coming out with the respective issuances that they did.
Yes,
to include
Your Honor.
the
And
AOMs,
so
the notices of
therefore,
suspension, and the notice of disallowance.
if we can get that from, because we don't want to be held in ambush with subsequent witnesses who will use some portions of this acknowledgement receipts for subsequent witnesses, Your Honor, who we have subpoenaed for this impeachment proceedings, Your Honor. They might say, and I don't want to speculate, or I don't want to, anyway, ghosting ba yun? I don't want to anticipate the strategy, but we will have subsequent witnesses who will testify to specific acknowledgement receipts, Your Honor. And they might say, you did not identify them, you only identified the summaries. So, Your Honor, if we can get a stipulation now from counsel for the defense that when a acknowledgement receipt is presented through another witness, Your Honor, they will not object because precisely they stipulated that the summary.
Counsel, again, let's abbreviate the proceedings. That's always subject to cross.
Subject
if you
to
present
cross,
a
Your Honor.
document and their copy says otherwise, then they can confront the witnesses during cross-examination as to the difference of that document. But if not, then I guess they will skip crossing the witness on that point. As an implied admission that indeed the document she based it on or the document she testified on is indeed the same copy as what they do. But by that time, counsel, we will have a copy already of both documents and the court can
In
make
fact-
the appropriate ruling at the appropriate time.
One last, Your Honor.
Yes, Attorney Kapunan. Attorney Lorna.
We would have preempted. We would have saved this honorable court considerable time if they just agreed to use their documents. We don't need even this clerk of court, even the presiding officer, even the honorable judges don't need to make comparison. We are amenable to use the defense exhibits, Your Honor.
Attorney
may I-
Lorna.
Because these exhibits, Your Honor.
Attorney Lorna, the chair considered that too when you made that manifestation. However, as I said, given the fact that we don't have a copy, I guess you don't have a copy too of their exhibits. So they
Can I
would have to sift through each and every exhibit marked with their own marking to look for, let's say, a particular name in the AR. So once we get the copy, we will furnish you with a copy and you can use that copy if you wish at the appropriate time as well. So asking for a copy will solve many issues, Attorney Lorna. Attorney Christine, yes, you want to...
quick reply, Your Honor. Actually, it doesn't matter if they will use our own exhibits, Your Honor. It doesn't even make their witness competent. That is why we are here in open court to establish the competence. So kahit pagamitin ho namin yung exhibit namin, kung hindi naman ho competent yung witness nyo to identify those exhibits, it will still be a waste of time. It will be useless.
Thank you for that, counsel. Let's now move on. Call your witness, Attorney Kapunan, Attorney Lorna. Clerk of court is directed to kindly escort or assist Miss Eileen May Del Ocampo to the witness stand.
Your Honor, would like to call our witness, Miss Eileen May L. Del Campo.
Ms. Eileen, before you sit down, do you understand that you will be continuing with your testimony before this Honorable Impeachment Court under the same oath that you made and was given when you last appeared Wednesday ba? On Wednesday.
Yes po, Your Honor.
You may sit down, ma'am.
Thank you po.
And good morning, Attorney Kapunan, your witness. You may proceed with your cross. Again, sorry, with one more short reminder. You don't have to flip through the individual ARs anymore. We understand that, Attorney Kapunan. We will rely on her table and or summary for the meantime, unless there is a specific AR that you want her to identify and read for the record. Then she may simply look at that particular one. But no need to flip through the entire 4,492 ARs just to show that she indeed prepared her table and summary based on the ARs. That is deemed understood already by the court. You may proceed, Attorney Laura.
With the permission of this honorable court, good morning. Good morning to the presiding officer, to the impeachment judges, and good morning, counsel,
Good morning.
the respondent. Good morning, Madam Witness.
Good morning po.
Are you would you like to come closer to the mic? Parang nagkwentuhan lang tayo, no? Be comfortable, okay?
Apo.
Now, we will continue with where we broke off at the last hearing, when you were here and we had preliminary questions, no? But I regret that I have to ask you again because just earlier, this counsel for the respondent is questioning your competence. Madam Witness, can you remind us again, how long have you been with the COA?
I have been with COA for the past 11 years. Actually po, magti 12 years na po.
As COA.
Yes po.
And what was your educational background, Madam Witness? Saan ka nag-aral?
I earned po my bachelor degree in Bachelor of Science in Accountancy from St. Louis University po.
At pagkatapos mo nag-graduate sa St. Louis University, saan ka nagtrabaho?
Ang una ko pong naging trabaho is as junior auditor sa isang private firm po sa Baguio City.
And after that?
After 2 years po, nag-apply na po ako sa COA at doon na po ako nag-start noong August 26, 2014.
August 26?
2014 po.
Okay. And earlier you said that you were in COA ICFAO, correct?
Yes po.
And what particular activity or duties did you have with this office?
Ang mga naging duties ko po sa COA ICFAO is first to conduct post-audit of the liquidation documents of various government agencies sa liquidation po nila sa Intelligence and Confidential Fund. And draft po an audit observation memorandum, notice of suspension or notice of disallowance po as may be warranted under rules and regulations on settlement of accounts. And after pong mag-respond nung agency, ako rin po ang nag-evaluate ng mga responses po sa mga AOM at notice of suspension.
So based on your narration, 11 years mo na ginagawa to? Nag-i-issue ng audit, observation, memorandum, notice of suspension, notice of disallowance, at pinag-aaralan rin ang mga response ng mga national agencies na covered ng Confidential and Intelligence Fund.
Yes po, tama po.
Tell us, Madam Witness, how many of these national agencies, local government units, public officials, have you conducted a post-audit?
Yung sa national government agencies po, more than 20 na. Sa local po, madami-dami na rin po, mga more than 50. Sa GOCCs naman po, mga less than 10, mga 5 to 10 po.
So more than 20 national agencies, tama? More
Opo.
than 30, 50 local government units?
Yes po.
And,
Mga GOCCs po, mga less than 10.
okay. So when you took over, nung ikaw ang take over kay Attorney Wamil, Noong February, when he retired or was transferred to another COA office in February 2024, you were then at that time also in COA ICFAO.
Yes po, tama po.
And ano naman ang participation mo, if any, dito sa pag-post-audit ng confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President at ng DepEd Secretary?
Sa Office of the Vice President po, ang naging participation ko po is dun sa for the period December 21 to 31, 2022, ako po ang nag-evaluate ng response nila sa notice of suspension. Doon naman po sa first to third quarters ng 2023, ako po ang nag-evaluate sa response nila sa mga audit observation memorandum. Sa DepEd naman po, ako po ang nag-evaluate ng responses nila para dun sa dalawang AOM for the first to third quarters of 2023.
Okay, Madam Witness, you took over the functions, or you took over yung mga inaudit ni Attorney Wamil. Are you aware na gumawa siya ng isang tabulation tungkol sa acknowledgement receipts for the last quarter of the Office of the Vice President, December 21 to 31. Are you aware na merong ginawang tabulation si Attorney Wamil?
Yes po, aware po ako sa tabulation ni Mr. Wamil.
If this tabulation is shown to you, and for purposes of identification, Your Honor, this has been previously marked in evidence as P-1-29 for the prosecution. Showing to you, Madam Witness, please go over this tabulation prepared. And may we ask permission for Attorney, our Associate, Attorney J. De La Cruz, to be allowed to present this to the witness.
Assisting counsel of the parties may approach.
Just for the record, Your Honor, the witness is going over the tabulation submitted and marked by by Attorney Wamil, and it is Exhibit P-1-29.
Noted and made part of the records.
Do you confirm, Madam Witness, that ito ang tabulation na sinubmit ni Attorney Wamil sa COA ICFAO office na minana mo sa kanya?
Yes po, ito po yung tabulation na kasama po doon sa mga documents na na-forward sa akin.
Okay. After you received these documents from Attorney Wamil through the office of the COA ICFAO, what happened next?
After po ma-issue yung notice of suspension sa OBP, nag-submit po sila ng response noong March 13, 2024 po.
Itong response na sinasabi mo, meron ka bang kopya? And if shown to you, itong response ng Office of the Vice President, will you be able to identify the same?
Yes po.
Your Honor, for easy reference of the presiding officer and this impeachment court, may we ask permission to flash it in the screen, Your Honor?
Counsel may do so. You're referring to Exhibit P-1-13-B
Yes, Your Honor.
and Respondents 1-120 OVP.
This is stipulated document, Your Honor.
You may proceed,
So
counsel.
the counsel for the defense is now looking at it. Madam Witness. Having gone over this document, Madam Witness, ito ba yung sinasabi mong letter response ng Office of the Vice President?
Yes po, ito po yung same copy ng response ng OBP sa notice of suspension.
I will now show you, Counsel, JVD. I will now show you the second page of this letter, Madam Witness, being flashed on the screen. Please look at the second page. In particular, we have what appears to be certain signatures. Mga signature na nandyan sa second page ng response ng Office of the Vice President. If shown to you, Madam Witness, will you be able to identify the signatures?
Yes po.
Okay. There is a signature appearing on top of the name Attorney Sulaika Attorney Lopez. There is a signature appearing above the name Attorney Sulaika Lopez. Would you be able to identify that signature?
Yes po.
Bakit, Madam Witness?
Kasama po kasi dun sa sinubmit sa liquidation documents na nabigay sa akin, na turnover sa akin, yung list ng signatories po ng OVP.
At kasama ba doon ang signature ni Attorney Sulaika Lopez?
Yes po.
There is another signature here appearing atop the name Lemuel Ortonio. Please go over this signature and tell us if you are familiar. Nakikilala mo ba tong signature ng isang Ortonio sa dokumentong ito?
Yes po.
Why, Madam Witness?
Kasama din po ito dun sa list ng specimen signature na nasubmit po sa amin dun sa liquidation documents nila.
Okay. And pag alam mo, sino ba itong Attorney Sulaika Lopez?
Based po dito sa dokumento na to, siya po ang Chief of Staff ng OBP.
Okay.
Undersecretary po at Chief of Staff.
Ito naman Mr. Lemuel Ortonio. Sino naman itong Lemuel Ortonio na to?
Based po sa document, siya po ang Assistant Secretary and Assistant Chief of Staff.
Sa letter response na to, na-identify mo, may nakalagay, meron bang naka-attach dito sa letter response?
Yes po, nag-attach po sila ng list of 105 activities ng Office of the Vice President for the period December 13 to 31, 2022.
First quarter ng
Fourth quarter ng 2022. Specifically, December 13 to 31, 2022.
At if we show you this list of activities na inattach sa letter response, will you be able to identify this? We are flashing on
Yes
the
po.
screen, Your Honor, a list of activities which is an attachment to the letter response of the OVP, Exhibit P-1-13B. Whereat yung listahan allegedly ng mga activities ng OVP ay naka-enumerate. Tell us, Madam Witness. Likewise, flash on the screen. Tell us, Madam Witness, ano ang significance nitong mga list ng activities na sinubmit ng Office of the Vice President sa kanyang letter response? Anong ibig sabihin nun? List of activities.
Ito po ay naging attachment nila as documents evidencing success of information gathering and or surveillance activities po na required po kapag nagkakaroon ng payment of rewards.
Anong period cover ditong list of activities?
December 13 to 31, 2022 po.
And what ang observation, itong activities na nakalagay dyan ay prior to the receipt of the Office of the Vice President of its confidential fund. Ito ba ay kino-confirm mo?
Yes po, kasi yung cash advance po for 2022 po is for the period December 21 to 31, 2022.
At kailan na tinanggap ang cash advance?
December 21 po ang start.
Okay. Hindi ba ang ibig sabihin ng liquidation report, sinasabi mo kung ano yung mga pinaggamitan mo ng cash advance? Tama ba yan?
Opo, tama po.
Okay. And sa palagay mo, compliant ba to? Kasi post-audit compliance ba ito?
Based po sa document,
Yeah.
based po sa document na to, hindi po napakita dito na yung proof of success of the information gathering at may mga activities din po dito na from December 13, 15, 17, 18 na hindi po sakop dun sa period of utilization ng cash advance which is for December 21, 31, 2022.
So you mentioned a joint circular? Meron ka bang anong pinagbasihan mo kung bakit violation ito?
Under po kasi sa Joint Circular 2015-01, kapag po ginamit ang confidential fund sa payment of rewards, subject po ito sa 3 conditions.
Ano yung mga condition na yan?
First po, it should be approved by the head of agency. Pangalawa po, it should be supported with documents evidencing success of the information gathering and or surveillance activities on account of the information given by the informer. And yung last po is, it should be directly related sa confidential activities ng agency po.
Okay, so ano dyan sa requirements ang sinasabi mo hindi sinunod ng Office of the Vice President?
Ito po kasing listahan na to, sinabit nila as proof of success of information gathering to support the payment of rewards. Pero based po sa documents na to, hindi po namin nakita yung particular accomplishment.
Okay, nakalagay sa dokumento examples ng activities ng Office of the Vice President for the confidential funds. Pakibasa nga for the record, no? Kasi tama ba yung basa namin? May tree planting, gift giving. Please read for the record, Madam Witness. Ano yung sinasabing pinaggamitan ng confidential funds?
Dito po sa December 13, 2022, Department of Education 2022 Partners Appreciation Night in Mandaluyong City, Metro Manila. December 15,
Sandali. Appreciation Night.
Opo.
Sa pagkaintindi mo, confidential activity ba yan? O nasa listahan ba yan
Your Honor.
ng confidential activities base sa joint circular?
Based po dun sa enumeration kung saan gagamitin ang confidential fund, hindi po ito nakasama doon.
Basahin mo pa yung iba. So, hindi. Ano pa yung iba?
December 15, 2022, Knights of Rizal Supreme Council, 60th year of the Institute in Baguio City, Youth Campaign on Patriotism. Meron din po
Compliant ba to sa listahan?
based po sa joint circular, hindi po ito nakasama dun sa mga activities po under 4.8 kung saan pwedeng gamitin ang confidential fund.
Basahin mo nga lahat ng activities na yan for the record at sabihin mo kung compliant ito. Kung ito ba mga activities ay pinapayagan bilang liquidation ng confidential funds.
Meron po dito December 17, 2022, Christmas activity in Happy Land, Tondo, Manila. Christmas activity and exploration meeting of Extension Office Barangay 101 in Tondo, Manila. Consultation with Barangay Chairman ng Manila in Manila. Pasasalamat and update meeting TODA in Barangay Batasan Hills, Quezon City. May mga activity po dito na pasasalamat, coordination meeting, may mga tree planting po, distribution of wheelchairs, gift giving, medical mission, at iba pong activities ng mga satellite offices po ng Office of the Vice President.
Sa joint circular na minention mo, can you remind us, ano ba talaga ang definition ng confidential funds?
Ang confidential fund po, ito po yung lump sum amount na nasa General Appropriations Act na gagamitin po for confidential activities po ng isang ahensya.
At itong binasa mo, tree planting, Christmas, napakadaming Christmas party, napakadaming award ceremony, yan ba? ay pinapayagan sa sinabi mong definition ng confidential funds?
Hindi po.
Hindi po.
With the indulgence of
Your
counsel.
Honor, please.
With the indulgence of counsel. Ms. Eileen, maliban sa hindi pinapayagan o pasok sa pwedeng paggastusan ng confidential fund yung mga binasa po ninyo, yung gastos ay ginawa rin bago na encash yung cheque.
Kung based po sa document na ito, meron po kasing activities dito na from December 13 to 18 na hindi po sakop dun sa period of utilization based
Apo,
sa accomplishment
so labas doon.
report.
Labas
Opo.
doon. So hindi posibleng gamitin yung perang na-release ng 21 para i-reimburse yun kung tama man yung pinagastusan.
Yes po, kasi under the joint circular po, meron pong portion doon na hindi po pwedeng gamitin for reimbursement yung pondo ng
So
confidential.
prospectively lang. So yung mga activities na pwede lang ay 21 to 31.
Opo, tama po.
You may proceed, counsel.
Dahil dito sa sinabi mong violation, wala sa period, no? Yung as observed by the Honorable Presiding Officer. At dahil wala naman sa listahan sa joint circular kung saan pwedeng gamitin ang confidential funds, ano ang ginawa mo after that, if any?
After po evaluating the response ng OBP at saka po yung mga attachments neto, ako po ay nag-draft ng notice of disallowance at isinabit ko po ito sa aking division chief for her review.
If I will show you, pag pinakita sa iyo ang isang notice of disallowance for purposes of the record, Your Honor, this has been pre-marked as Exhibit P-1-13-C. Would you be able to identify it?
Opo.
Showing to you, Attorney De La Cruz will show it to you. Please go over this document and tell us if the relationship of this document to the notice of disallowance you have mentioned, and again, we are seeking permission to flash it for easy reference on screen.
Opo, yun po yung same copy ng notice of disallowance na inisyo namin sa Office of the Vice President.
Please look, Counsel, please look at this notice of disallowance. There is a signature there. On top of the name Nilda B. Plaras. Kanino pong signature ito?
Si Assistant Commissioner Nilda Plaras po ang officer in charge ng ICFAO nung ma-issue po ang dokumento na ito.
Anong ibig sabihin pag pinirmahan ng isang assistant commissioner ang isang notice of disallowance na draft mo?
Ito po is for release na po sa na-approve po niya kung ang laman nito at for release na po ito sa agency.
For release ng agency, okay. Tell us, Madam Witness, itong notice of disallowance ng COA ICFAO, yung recommendation mo, at yung inapprove ng Assistant Commissioner for release, magkano? Magkano ang disallowed ng COA ICFAO?
Ang disallowance po is 73,287,000.
Ano naman ang basis ng disallowance na to?
Ang disallowance po na to, binubuo po ito ng first, yung payment of rewards in the total amount of 69,787,000.
Before you proceed, Your Honor, please, this is being flashed on the screen. This is the first page of Exhibit P-1-13-C, which is the notice of disallowance identified by this witness. First page dyan, Madam Witness, ano ang breakdown or basihan ng iyong notice of disallowance?
Yung 73,287,000, ang bumubuo po dito is yung payment for rewards amounting to 69,787,000 plus yung 3.5 million for payments for tables and chairs, desktop computers, and printers po.
Dalawa ang amount na naka-indicate dyan. Bakit dalawang amount? Paki-explain.
Ito po ba yung sa number 1 na yung 69,587 at yung sa...
In number 1, in item number 1, if you can check your document on the screen, item number 1 sa notice of disallowance, dalawa ang amount na nakastate. Isa, 69,587,000 at yung isa ay 69,787,000. Ito ba ay typo, discrepancy? Bakit may hindi pareho itong amount?
Ito po ay isang typographical error po. Ang tamang amount po is 69,787,000.
Okay. Ngayon naman, Madam Witness, let us go to page 2. Item number 2. Ano naman, pakibasa ang sinabi dito sa page 2, item number 2.
The notice of disallowance po is issued kasi yung pangalawang reason po is charging payment for tables and chairs, desktop computers and printers in the total amount of 3.5 million to confidential fund without specifying that they were intended for the confidential operations/activities undertaken by the OBP, non-compliant with the requirement of item 4.8.4 of the joint circular.
Ano yung item 4.8 ng circular na sinasabi mo?
Pwede po ba akong mag-refer para po sa joint circular?
With the
Your
permission.
Honor,
Witness
pwede po
witness may refer to the document.
Thank you po. Based po sa item 4.8.4 ng Joint Circular, purchase or rental of supplies, materials, and equipment for confidential operations that cannot be done through regular procedures without compromising the information gathering activity concerned.
Okay. Bakit ito ay naging basehan ng disallowance nung tables and chairs na yan? Di ba confidential yun? Kung saan binili yung table and chair na yan, di ba confidential yun, Madam Witness?
Hindi po kasi nila in-specify na the payments for yung tables and chairs and desktop computers were used for confidential operations po. Wala po silang nasubmit na any explanation dun sa response po nila.
Kailangan ba mag-submit ng... Anong mga kailangan i-submit na dokumento by way of... Para explain kung saan ginamit tong tables and chairs, laptop, tsaka... Anong hinahanap ninyo sa post-audit?
Dapat po mapatunayan nila na ito ay binili para po sa confidential operations ng ahensya.
At anong kailangan na dokumento?
And since this pertains po sa as purchases, dapat po supported ito ng either sales invoice or official receipts po.
Okay. Sa pag-evaluate mo nitong dokumentong sinabmit ng Office of the Vice President, meron ba yun mga official receipts, sales invoice na sinabmit?
Wala po.
Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Walang sinabmit, Madam Witness?
Wala pong mga resibo.
Mga kababayan, pansamantala po muna nating iwanan ang special coverage sa ika-14 na araw ng paglilitis. The impeachment hearing of Vice President Sara Duterte upang bigyan daan ang mga balitang hatid ng Radyo Pilipinas News Nationwide kasama sina Jan Mogol at Chad Oliva. Manatili pong nakatutok pa rin sa aming Radyo Pilipinas Facebook page upang masundan ang mga kaganapan sa Senado ukol pa rin sa paglilitis kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ako po ang inyong lingkod, Kaki Ko Flores. Maraming salamat at magandang umaga.
Sa bawat tanong, sa bawat ebidensya, aalamin ang katotohanan para sa sambayanan. Tunghayan ang masinsinang pagtalakay sa isa sa pinakamahalagang usaping pampulitika ng bansa. Mga pinakamaiinit na kaganapan aming ibabalita. Diretso mula sa Senado. Hatid ang bawat detalye at katotohanan para sa sambayanang Pilipino. Ang paglilitis. The impeachment hearing